Friends, today is Monday, the 21st of December, and it is my day off, and I'm in my room, which is kind of empty of books. All the books have been moved out, except for a few on the desk here as I prepare for my move to St. John Vianney on Beaverton, where the retired clergy live, and prepare for my new job at the Tribunal, which is at our pastoral center on the east side of Portland. And today we have a beautiful gospel in preparation for the great feast of Christmas. And we call the gospel today the Visitation of Mary and Elizabeth. And in the gospel today, which follows upon the annunciation of the angel Gabriel to Mary, and the words of the angel Gabriel, your relative Elizabeth, despite her old age and despite being barren, has also conceived a son, for nothing is impossible for God. Has conceived a son, for nothing is impossible for God. And that verse at the Annunciation prepares for the feast today, the reading of the feast, that is the visitation itself of Mary and Elizabeth, the two mothers who are affected by the two annunciations, one to Mary and one to Zechariah, husband of Elizabeth. And as soon as the annunciation to Mary was complete, she rose and moved hastily into the hill country of Judea, went in haste to the hill country of Judea. In haste, of course, indicating her immediate obedience to God's word, to hear the word and to act upon it. Elizabeth, in the greeting, says to Mary, blessed are you among women. Blessed are you among women. In other words, having the honor of being the physical mother of God, the physical mother of the Messiah. Mary heard God's word, and in her yes, she is to become the mother of God. And Luke 8 gives indication in this reading and in this scene that Jesus would become the new David. Jesus would become the new David. After the Annunciation, mention of the hill country of Judea is a kind of code wording to indicate David. It was David in the hill country of Judea where he discovered the ark of the covenant, the ark which was the presence of God in Israel. And to that same country now comes Mary, who is the new ark of the covenant, and the definitive God-bearer. Elizabeth says, how does this happen to me? Speaking to Mary, how does this happen to me, that the mother of my Lord, the mother of God, in other words, that the mother of God should come to me, recognizing already that Mary is that new ark, the new ark of the covenant and the God-bearer. Mary, who is that God-bearer, in essence becomes the new temple. The new temple. The temple was the presence of God in Israel. And thus Mary, new ark, new temple, the place where God dwells. Interestingly, Elizabeth says to Mary that at her greeting, the infant in her womb leaped for joy. The infant, this is Elizabeth, that John, the infant, leaped for joy in the womb of Elizabeth. John, which, of course, in imitation of David, leaps for joy. David, in the Old Testament, it says that when he led the Ark of the Covenant into Jerusalem, he danced ahead of it, danced for joy. And now, once again, Mary, who is the Ark, the child in Elizabeth's womb, John the Baptist, leaps for joy. So many things going on, taking place in this reading of the Visitation. And once again, we're reminded that the word visitation means much more than just a visit. A visitation means there is theological content to this event, this visit. And the theological content is that it is a commentary on Emmanuel. Emmanuel, one of the names given to Jesus, Emmanuel, God with us. And God is truly with us here. The Word made flesh, the Messiah about to be born into the world. Hold that thought, and we'll see you tomorrow.